Hi, I'm Underbelly, and you suck at sound design. Beautiful woman Steve Doodoo has created one of the most amazing synths of all time, Sweet Serum. Serum's capacity for making wobs, wumps, yoinks, and winky dinks make it one of my favorite synths ever. But one area where Serum is a little bit limited is its capacity for FM synthesis. That's why in today's lesson, we're going to learn how to use Ableton's operator to create some really rich, harmonically complex FM tones that we can then run through Serum's amazing effects. And if you like the tips and tricks provided in this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on bell notifications. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so check it. Let's go ahead and first hear the sound we're going to be making today. Oh, wowzers. Okay, that's quite a big wumpus we got there, but let's go ahead and hear what it sounds like without any of Serum's effects on it. Oh, Jesus. Okay, just put that away. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. And let's go ahead and start from the very beginning here. I'm going to create a new empty MIDI track with a blank instance of operator on it. And just so we can see what's going on, I'm going to put a spectrum on here and adjust the volume of operator so that it's a little bit lower, minus 16. Turn the tone all the way up to 100% so we can hear all the upper harmonics. And start with just this basic sine wave. Now, many of you guys might be thinking, why the fuck are we using this old dinosaur of a synth? I don't even see any wavetables on here. How are we supposed to create wumpus out of this? Well, very simple. While operator is quite basic compared to Serum, it really excels at a kind of synthesis called frequency modulation, which allows us to very quickly and easily create really complex, harmonically rich waveforms. Wowzers. So first things first, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. Looks like we just have this one big phallus on the frequency spectrum here, and let's just go ahead and call him Richard. Richard is our fundamental phallus, and he's being created with a sine wave. A sine wave is just the smoothest possible wave there is, and it just creates this one big phallus here. Now, where the real beauty of frequency modulation comes in is if we take another really simple waveform, just say another sine wave, and run it through Richard. So let's go ahead and turn up the level on oscillator B and watch what happens. So here we just have one phallus, but as I turn up the level here, oh wowzers, okay, we have another phallus here and another, and pretty soon, oh my gosh, we just have this forest of dicks popping up. Okay, now here's the thing. Those secondary dicks are called harmonics, and they occur when frequency modulation happens, when we run one wave into another. And we can actually shift these dicks up and down. So I can tune oscillator B using this fine knob, and watch what happens. Okay, so those secondary dicks are being tuned up and down while Richard still stays strong here. He's still chilling right where he was. So Richard is our fundamental, and these secondary dicks are called our side bands because they appear to the left and right of Richard here. Now, in addition to using this fine knob, I can also use the coarse to change the pitch of oscillator B. Basically, the coarse is a ratio. So let's say Richard looks like around 40 hertz. If I set the coarse of B to 2, what that means is B is now going to be twice the frequency of A. So it's going to be at 80 hertz. And we can also do 3 times the frequency, so that's going to be 120 hertz. As you can see, that creates more and more crazy harmonics as we turn the coarse up. So using a combination of coarse and fine creates really, really interesting sounds here. Wowzers. Now you're already seeing the potential for FM to create really quick, interesting, harmonically complex waveforms, but let's just take it back to Richard here. Now, in addition to just being a regular old sine wave, we can go to our oscillator here and actually draw in the dicks ourselves. So if I wanted a dick right next to Richard, I could just go ahead and click and drag up here, and wowzers, there he is. Okay, so now Richard is feeling kind of inadequate with that secondary dick there. So I'm going to create one a little further away so he doesn't get insecure. You're still the biggest dick in my heart, Richard. Okay, and you can actually just draw these wherever, and I can zoom in here on the first 16 dicks just by hitting 16 here. I could really create a harmonically rich and complex waveform just by drawing in these dicks here, these harmonics. Now check this out. As I'm adding these secondary dicks here, these harmonics, the waveform changes here. So if I get rid of them, just one dick is our regular sine wave, but as I start adding them, the waveform changes. And wowzers, when you realize this, you realize that all your favorite waveforms, your sine, your square, your sawtooth, they're all just combinations of different dicks. So this sine wave, just a regular one dick. And if we look at, say, the square wave, it's every other dick. It's just the odd dicks. Oh, Jesus. And my personal favorite is the sawtooth wave, which is simply every single dick maxed out. Wowzers, that's a lot of dicks. So knowing this, knowing that each waveform has a certain combination of harmonics or secondary dicks there, we can now use this in concert with frequency modulation. So I'm going to let A still be just a regular sine wave, nice big Richard there. And then let's have actually B be the saw wave. So I'm just going to bombard Richard with dicks here. I'm going to slowly bring that up. I'm going to bring the level of A to 0 here. I'm going to bring B slowly up. Oh, turn down the output here just a little bit. Oh, wowzers. Okay, so we're getting some crazy dick action there. Now, what I like to do is I actually like to create pockets in the sawtooth wave where there are no dicks here. And it creates really abrasive, interesting waveforms. Wowzers. Let's actually put the course up to 2. Oh, shit. Oh, wowzers. I can actually do this. What the fuck? Okay, now what would be really cool is if I could have Operator mess with the level here on its own so I can really fine tune where I want those dicks to be and when I want those to come in. So let's just go to the envelope here in Oscillator B. I'm going to give it the attack to like 220 milliseconds, put the sustain all the way down, maybe shorten the decay a little bit to 550. And I'm going to do something similar with Oscillator A, maybe give the attack 24 milliseconds, something like that. Put the sustain all the way down. Once again, pretty short decay, maybe like 500. Maybe see how that sounds. Just going to go ahead and mess with this a little bit. Something like that. Maybe mess with the fine here. Okay, wowzers. Now that's a pretty dense, harmonically rich waveform that we just created just by smushing two really simple waveforms together. Wowzers. That is the power of FM. You draw those dicks. Now, let's go ahead and run all that through Serum FX. And the reason why is because Serum's effect suite is just fucking awesome, man. There's just some amazing effects and filters here. So I'm going to start with the filter at the very top, and I'm going to go to miscellaneous and get the German low pass. And basically what I want is I want the filter cutoff to kind of open and close on its own. And anyone who's ever used Serum before knows it's really easy to do this. We just have to drag, say, one of the envelopes or LFOs here to the cutoff here. And what the fuck? Oh, it's not doing shit. Okay, now here's the thing. Let's calm down a bit. So currently, whenever I'm hitting a key on my MIDI keyboard, the MIDI information is traveling to Operator, but it's not quite making it to Serum FX. And I'm just going to go ahead and move this spectrum here. It's just not making it to Serum FX. Serum FX is in a safe space. He cannot be triggered. He's drinking his soy latte in his private university. And what we need to do is trigger that serum. And what better way to trigger someone than through social media? So I'm going to go ahead and create a new track, call it social media. Basically, what we're going to do with this is we're going to get the MIDI input from the Operator track right here. And I'm going to get them, and I'm going to send it back into itself. So I'm going to set MIDI to the same Operator track, and I'm going to put it directly into Serum FX and change the monitor to in so that whenever I'm hitting a key, it's going right through social media, directly into Serum FX, and wowzers. Now it's finally working. Now I can use every single one of Serum's effects and envelopes and LFOs just like I would with the regular standalone version. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to envelope, turn off the BPM, maybe like give it like 1.1 hertz there, and shift the tippy top of this shape to something like this. Okay, now that's that womp I'm looking for. Wowzers, I'm going to put some hyper dimension on there, make it nice and wide, turn the size of the dimension down to 1%, turn the mix all the way up here, so 1% mix all the way up, maybe a little bit less hyper. Okay, nice and wide there. Now I'm going to go ahead and actually put an EQ on, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the left EQ point to a low cut, turn down the Q there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to map that same LFO to the frequency cutoff here. So it gets this nice wumpus here. Oh, wowzers, taking out the low end at the very top of this peak here. Okay, wowzers, now I'm going to go ahead and add some distortion. I like the asymmetrical distortion, but it really doesn't matter. What's cool is I can use the LFO to mess with the drive as well. Wowzers, okay. So it gets progressively more intense as it reaches this peak here. And then I'm going to put a little bit of reverb once again, doing that same trick where I'm messing with the LFO and mapping that to the mix. Whoa. Okay, wowzers. So we just get a little splash of reverb at the tippy top there. And then it just kind of decays very slowly. And then finally, no Serum patch could be complete without a little bit of multi-band compression, a little bit of OTT, and just makes it really aggressive here. Maybe turn down the mix here. Maybe something like this. Maybe I don't need the reverb at all. Maybe turn up the release and attack so that the OTT is a little less aggressive. Okay, wowzers. Okay, we're starting to get into that wumpus territory. Now I can actually mess with this sound further if I go back into Operator. Actually continue messing with these phalluses to really shape the sound, and I can even bring in a new oscillator here, change it back to saw D. Oh shit, maybe mess with the chorus here. Oh shit, that's some crazy shit. I'm gonna get this wumpus up in here into the Operator, take that boots and cats out of here, and let's just go ahead and hear what we have here. Oh, holy shit. Oh my god. Oh shit. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw today and want to see more sound design tutorials, feel free to hit the subscribe button and give your suggestions in the comment section below. Also, feel free to join my Discord where you can participate in my latest remix contests. I'm Underbelly. Have a great day.